Accurate dinosaurs and the media. Is it something that could actually work? Like, can we ever make the jump to having accurate dinosaurs on screen when we've spent such a huge portion of time looking at dinosaurs that are, you know, a lot more reminiscent of the Jurassic Park dinosaurs, which themselves are a representation of our view on dinosaurs in the 90s. This is something that I want to talk about, and of course it's pretty much like a community question. You guys are more than welcome to kind of like give us your thoughts in the comments below. This video did stem from a lot of comments that I got on an earlier video that I made, where they're kind of saying that there's, you know, the majority of the viewing public wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards accurate dinosaur movies because they're just so used to the Jurassic Park style. And of course, a lot of other things, like they just wouldn't find them scary, they wouldn't find them appealing, and that's just something I want to take a look at, because I do think that there's a lot of fairness in statements like that, because the viewing public, a lot of them have grown accustomed to the kind of movie monster portrayal of dinosaurs, rather than the more animalistic portrayal that you might find in something like Prehistoric Planet. But I think a lot of it would definitely boil down to the creativity of filmmakers, because I mentioned in that video that I think that they play it too safe, and like we always get the Jurassic Park style of dinosaurs. If not, we get an exaggerated movie monster of a dinosaur portrayed in our movies and shows. And so really it's kind of difficult to tell how the general public would react to updated dinosaur designs. We don't know if they would like them or dislike them because we've never necessarily gotten the chance to see them. Now, of course, there's been some lower budget movies that have attempted to bring more accurate dinosaurs to the big screen. But again, those are lower budget movies, and the majority of the public hasn't even heard of those. So they're not even a good basis on whether or not something like that would even work. Because it's an interesting cycle. For the most part, when it comes to dinosaurs in the media, specifically with movies, is that every time you get a movie that kind of like surrounds a dinosaur or has dinosaurs in it, there was an attempt to be made to kind of make it accurate, at least, you know, what their understanding of dinosaurs was. Take the Valley of Gwangi, this Styracosaurus and this Allosaurus. At the time, that is exactly what those two dinosaurs looked like, and so that's how they showed up on screen. And the same can be said for pretty much almost every dinosaur movie that went up. I mean, of course, there was a lot of Slurposaur dinosaur movies, but a lot of that could probably be attributed to budget or something along those lines. And then you finally get to Jurassic Park, which there was a huge attempt to be made to be as accurate as possible because they genuinely wanted the public to see real dinosaurs. But then Jurassic Park was a massive hit, and like, I mean, a really massive hit. I mean, obviously enough to spawn a franchise that is still pretty much going today, and so much so that it's kind of integrated itself into the eye of the public to the point where that's dinosaurs to them. Like, they know that documentaries exist and all that, but like, as far as they know, this is what a T-Rex looks like, for example. And so the movie industry pretty much knows that. They know that Jurassic Park-like dinosaurs work because, of course, Jurassic Park was just so much of a hit. And even the World Trilogy still tries to emulate that. Really, they're trying to make them look as cool as possible. It's mainly like the rule of cool. Like, they want you to see a really edgy looking dinosaur and say, that's cool, I'll definitely see this movie, and that's pretty much the end of it. And it's really a great shame because, you know, I've mentioned this before, but there's a huge diversity of dinosaurs in the fossil record, with all kinds of gadgets and gizmos that were present on them and can definitely look unique and make a unique looking dinosaur. But, and of course a lot of people mention this too, for the most part, when it comes to dinosaurs, you're always going to see the most popular ones, like more specifically T-Rex. You would be hard-pressed to find some type of dinosaur project or something that had dinosaurs in it and not see a T-Rex. Like, it's rare to see a project that doesn't have a T-Rex. And that's because that's the most famous dinosaur ever. And so, you know, they're not really going to stray away from that. Like, every time you see dinosaurs, it's going to be the recognizable ones. Like, I doubt we'll ever see something like a Dinochirus or a Ishi or just anything that just looks unique brought to the screen with maybe like some bright colors or just some interesting ornamentation in general. But let's say if we lived in a world where they eventually did move on to that kind of accurate understanding, would it actually work? Now, of course, when a lot of people think of dinosaurs, they do think of horror. Jurassic Park wasn't necessarily a horror franchise. I'd call it borderline thriller at best. But it did have a lot of segments that were reminiscent of that, but especially compared to the novel, it was child's play. But for the most part, when people hear that, they think, well, feathered dinosaurs aren't scary. That's the most common one that you'll hear. And that's one that I have to incredibly disagree. Because, of course, when people think of feathered dinosaurs or just feathers in general, they'll think of birds. And for the most part, they'll think of like the smaller birds, like that sparrow that just flew by their window, or the hummingbird that's been buzzing around all day. They don't really think of like a cassowary, which is a bird that can definitely mess you up, or the several birds of prey that can probably mess you up if they wanted to as well. They definitely have the tools to do so. Or, of course, like an ostrich or an emu, other big ones that can definitely, you know, mess you up, for lack of a better term. And also, too, they often gravitate towards more like brightly colored feathers, so something that kind of looks, you know, like pretty or something like that. And when it comes to feathers, of course, with birds, they come in all different kinds of colors. They're not just simply brightly colored, they come in a huge array of different colors, and the same would definitely be true for dinosaurs. I guarantee that they came in all kinds of colors when it came to the feathered ones. This is also another thing. Not all dinosaurs were feathered, or at the very least, we don't have evidence for the majority of dinosaurs to have feathers. It's mainly just certain theropod groups that we know for sure had feathers. And the reason why that receives so much pushback is because Velociraptor from Jurassic Park exists, and it made it a household name. It's one of the most popular dinosaurs out there, and people don't really want to see it feathered because, again, they don't find that scary. But here's my biggest thing, especially when it comes to filmmaking, is that a good filmmaker can make anything work. Like, with the proper lighting, with the proper cinematography, with the proper setting, you can make something that people perceive as cute or not scary and make it scary. I mean, that's not necessarily to say that every time dinosaurs show up, they have to be scary. I mean, I'm sure that there's other possibilities for dinosaur media, like, I don't know, maybe a movie about time traveler prehistoric vets or something. I don't know. There's more opportunity than just dinosaurs ripping into people. But of course, those are the type of the movies that people want to see the most, so that's what we're, of course, mainly focusing on. But if you have the proper filmmaker, if you have the proper script, if you have the proper actors, any type of dinosaur would work. There's a ton of art out there that portrays accurate dinosaurs in kind of a horror light. And, you know, it's my own personal preference, but I think that those work. And I think that those could definitely work on the big screen if they're placed in the correct context. To loop it all back around, the issue is that there's a lack of trying. We'll never know if it'll work on the big screen, or maybe we will one day. Who truly knows? But we probably won't know that if it will work. We probably won't, because they're going to stick to what's safe. That's exactly what Hollywood as a whole does, is that they're going to stick to what they know is going to get butts in seats. And right now, that's Jurassic Park-like designs. And I'm not saying that the Jurassic Park designs are bad in any case. Like, you know, it's one of my all-time favorite franchises. I watch every movie all the time. I've gone opening night, but I'm also a huge dinosaur fan in general. Like, it's not just Jurassic Park for me. So I would absolutely love to see more unique dinosaur designs, and just something new when it comes to the dinosaur designs. And if that means taking a step towards more accuracy, I mean, I'm not saying they have to be 100% accurate, but like I said, a lot of dinosaur movies, there was more of an attempt made. They used the accuracy as a basis and then took creative liberties wherever they saw fit. And that's exactly what you can apply with the new ones. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, more akin to Prehistoric Planet. You can have, like, accuracy as a basis, but maybe if you want to, like, add some quills to a T-Rex to make it look a little bit more edgy or something, then you could probably do that. But anyway, this video's dragging on for a little bit. Be sure to let me know your guys' thoughts. Of course, again, this is another question where I encourage everybody to contribute to the talk. Do you think that accurate dinosaurs, or more of an attempt for accurate dinosaurs, would work? Or do you think that they should continue the way that they're going, a la 65, where it's kind of like a step backwards and they're just trying to make as cool of dinosaurs as possible? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and have an awesome day.